Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Today we are going to talk about unemployment and the Islamic economic system. So first of all, what is unemployment? Unemployment refers to people who are actively looking for a job but unable to find one. The term unemployment is sometimes misunderstood because it involves people who are waiting to return to work after being released, but it excludes people who have stopped looking for work in the previous 4 weeks for a variety of reasons, including leaving work to pursue higher education, retirement, injury, and personal issues. What about Islamic economic system? Islamic economic system is a principles, laws, and standard of behavior that organize economic life and define production ties in Islamic society. These rules and standards are based on the Islamic order as stated in the Quran and Sunnah, as well as the corpus of jurisprudence established by thousands of jurists over the last 1,400 years, in response to the changing circumstances, evolving lives of Muslims all over the world. Is there any SDG goal that can solve this issue? Yes, since the importance of this topic is to reduce unemployment through Islamic economic system, the Sustainable Development Goal SDG number 8, which promotes sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive jobs, and decent work for all, is relevant to this topic. One of the targets for SDG number 8 is by 2030, both women and men, including young people and people with disabilities, will have complete and productive jobs as well as fair pay for equal work. To further discuss about this topic, there are 5 related questions that have been made in order to solve this problem. Let's see what it is.
Number 1. What is the relevancy between unemployment and the Islamic economic system? In Islam, it is stated both in the Quran and the Hadith that Muslims must work hard and smart. Work is considered a form of worship in Islam because it is considered a sign of gratitude to Allah, because work implies that someone has potential, Allah natural resources. Moreover, unemployment has the potential to cause various problems in society, both in the field of economic, social, political, and even religious, such as the emergence of social insecurity, crime, and poverty. In general, unemployment is caused by several factors, namely, number 1, the size of the workforce is not balanced with employment opportunities. Number 2, non-economic growth, and number 3, the extension of riba interest system. As we can know, the Islamic economic system offers and provides welfare for the entire community, provides a sense of justice, creates social condition, kinship, and is able to provide the widest possible opportunity for every business actor, by making the most of natural resources. As a result, the Islamic economic system is extremely beneficial to the job seeker because it meets the demands of both individual and society. Therefore, there are many solutions to unemployment offered by the Islamic economic system. First, Islam encourages economic growth that provides broad benefit to society. Second, Islam encourages the creation of an impartial state, budget the interests of the people at large. Third, Islam encourages the development of infrastructure that gives broad benefits for society. Fourth, Islam encourages the provision of basic public service that are pro public service. There are 3 areas of public service that receive serious Islam attention: bureaucracy, education, and health.
As we all know, unemployment exists in every country, but why does unemployment exist in Islamic country like Malaysia? There are many reasons for people being jobless, and it is divided into 3 segments. The first one is frictional unemployment, the second one is structural unemployment, and lastly, it is called as cyclical unemployment. There is 4 factors that cause from frictional unemployment is when employees need to move to another location due to work. They will be jobless until they found work in a new town. Secondly, people who leave their job voluntarily with enough money to be able to leave unsatisfactory occupation. It can be that the works and environment is not satisfying and they have the freedom to look until they get new opportunities of works. Many fresh graduates are jobless jobless because they need to search for a company that complies with the students' expertise, such as skills and qualification.
Graduate daripada universiti pun terpaksa jual nasi lemak kerana mereka tak ada peluang kerja, dan ini menunjuk kegagalan kerajaan mentadbir negara kita ini supaya orang yang terlatih dengan ilmu yang tinggi dapat pekerjaan yang memberi pendapatan yang sama dengan tahap kebolehan mereka.
Lastly, individuals that are looking for a job re-enter the workforce. Frictional unemployment leads to short-term being jobless, while the structural unemployment leads to long-term being unemployed. That can be caused by advance of technology in which many companies are using robot, machines, and computers to replace workers. The workers need to be trained a lot before they find a job in a specific industry. The cyclical unemployment can be caused when there are several vacancy openings rather than candidates and demand deficiencies.
Next, what is the impact of unemployment in Malaysia? The impact of unemployment is connected to poverty, homelessness, and family unity. This will be resulting in serious crime, including prostitution, crime brutality, as well as alcoholism. Due to current lifestyle demand and cost of living is high, unemployed people will face mental illness like negative lifestyle, anxiety, depression, and lack of self-confidence because money is wasted. Unemployment can affect family members, mainly children. The head of the family is indeed required to make a living, but when unemployment encounters the breadwinners, children could not obtain great education provision. Plus, this can lead to suicide. The economy of the country suffers negative impact from unemployment when its production falls below average. Insecurity among existing employees is one of it. When this happens, the economy of countries get worse and their purchasing powers become decreasing due to fear or instability in their jobs. Moreover, people lose attraction to the administration and government. This can trigger the instability of politics. When today's society having difficulty gaining jobs, their skill will be fading and a shortage of human resources will happen. Conversely, unemployment also lead to a positive impact of psychological stress, which will drive more active job seekers continuous employment. They will face hardship and at the same time will be more spirit searching for jobs. Other than that, unemployment can substitute the quality time with family that has been wasted during working previously.
The COVID-19 pandemic has spread with alarming speed, infecting millions and bringing economic activity to a near standstill as countries impose tight restrictions on the movement to halt the spread of the virus.
The economic damage is already visible as health and human burden increases and constitutes the world's worst economic shock in decades. This pandemic has made a huge influence on the economy in many sectors. Hundreds of millions of people are left without jobs, according to the UN's International Labour Organization. We will examine how the pandemic has damaged the Islamic economic system in Saudi Arabia and Malaysia. Saudi Arabia's economy depends heavily on the oil sector, which represents around 42% of the GDP. In January, prices of oil over $70 a barrel were causing much tension to the OPEC and the country. It became even worse as the negative price on 20 April plummeted from $17.85 to $37.63, the first day in history.
To boost the economy, Saudi Arabia government infused $32 billion of incentives, which helped the oil and gas industry with a workforce of over 13 million. Mecca and Medina also accounts for one of the biggest incomes. Umrah and yearly Hajj with around 7% of the overall GDP and 20% of the country's non-oil GDP. This sector creates 2 million jobs to begin with. This pandemic has restricted people from abroad to perform Hajj and Umrah and affecting the loss of jobs related to the pilgrimage, and has affected more than 40,000 temporary jobs such as butchers, drivers, etc. In Malaysia, since the 18th of March, the Movement Control Order was first implemented to halt the spread of the virus across the country. This resulted in low to no job activities across various sectors. The Malaysian Research Institute has anticipated the loss of employment in both skilled and unskilled categories.
The unemployment rate in 2020 was estimated to be at 4% compared to 3.3% in 2019, where agriculture and service sectors have the highest job loss with 21.9% and 15% respectively, which was all based on a special study by Malaysia's Department of Statistics. With the prospect of an economic reset as soon as a major COVID-19 vaccination is available, Malaysia must cope with the current 764,400 unemployed people and maybe 1 million new job seekers in the job market.
In conclusion, COVID-19 has already had a significant influence on economic activity across the world, including Muslim nations, and will have a long-term global economic impact that will be impossible to reverse.
Last but not least, the fifth question is, how to solve unemployment among Muslims by applying Sharia compliance? As a Muslim, we must engage and get involved in business as the same way as our role model, the Prophet Mohamed ﷺ did. Especially Muslims in Malaysia who lack in spirit of entrepreneurship. Therefore, one way the government can play a role is by allocating funds to religious jurisdictions in order to assist Muslims who need capital to start a business. As a result, Muslim welfare can be safeguarded at all times and receive government funding. Furthermore, maintaining a high level of demand to create new jobs could also be helpful. Greater employment opportunities will be generated as the number of entrepreneurs providing jobs to society grows. When a Muslim entrepreneur starts a company, he or she is increasing supply to meet demand and conducting business in a Sharia-compliant manner. It leads to a maintenance of demand sufficiency and productivity. In addition, to achieve a lower unemployment rate, guaranteeing a first job for any graduate who complete their studies would be a successful method of addressing unemployment issues. This action can be taken by the government collaborating with all educational institutions, including public and private universities and colleges, to adapt syllabus material to industry needs. Lastly, acquiring additional skills and experience will help to minimize unemployment. We should never stop learning as Muslims because the more experience we have, the smarter we become. Enhancing employability and labor efficiency, as well as helping countries become more competitive, will help structural change and economic growth.
At present, unemployment is a major issue in both developed and developing nations, and with millions of people having to work from home this time, offices and stores closing as part of cost-cutting measures, travel and transportation restricted everywhere, the economy was certain to suffer, all due to the pandemic.
As regards to the Sustainable Development Goals, we have linked the topic to Goal 8, that is decent work and economic growth, and raised 5 questions to which details were explored and discussed. On the plus side for the Islamic economic system, we may use this as a chance to demonstrate that Islam is the greatest way of life, even in economy and finance, and not only in ritual activities. We should think that there will always be an opportunity in every challenge. Thank you, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.